January 30th, 1948, dawned with a brisk wind whipping across the runway of Lajes Field in the Azores. The British South American Airways Avro Tudor IV aircraft, registration GAGRE, and christened Star Tiger, stood ready for its flight to Bermuda. On board were 31 souls, a mix of experienced crew and passengers eager to reach the sun-kissed shores of the British colony. Captain Geoffrey Pike, a decorated war veteran and seasoned pilot, went through his pre-flight checks meticulously. The weather forecast indicated strong headwinds over the Atlantic, but nothing that a sturdy four-engine airliner like the Tudor IV couldn't handle. Hours into the journey, with the vast expanse of the ocean below, Captain Pike radioed air traffic control in Bermuda. His message was routine, calm, reassuring. Star Tiger, calling Bermuda. Position report. All well so far. ETA Bermuda, 0400 GMT. That was the last anyone ever heard from the Star Tiger. It never arrived in Bermuda. A massive air and sea search was launched, scouring thousands of square miles of the Atlantic. Despite the scale of the operation and the advanced search technologies available at the time, not a single piece of wreckage, not a life jacket, not even the faintest trace of the Star Tiger or its 31 occupants was ever found. Investigators, baffled by the complete absence of debris and any distress signals, were left with a chilling void of information, only a cluster of unanswered questions hanging in the windy Atlantic air. Almost exactly a year later, on January 17, 1949, another aircraft from the same British South American Airways fleet met an eerily similar fate under nearly identical, unsettling circumstances. The Avro Tudor IV, with registration GAGWH, named Star Ariel, took off from Bermuda, bound for Kingston, Jamaica, carrying 20 people. The weather that day was remarkably clear, the skies a seemingly benign canvas of blue. Captain John McPhee, also a highly experienced pilot, sounded confident during his pre-departure communications. Halfway through the relatively short flight over open water, the Star Ariel made routine contact with ground control, reporting its position and that all was proceeding normally. Then, without any warning, communication was abruptly lost. The aircraft never appeared on radar again. A subsequent extensive search operation, mirroring the one conducted for the Star Tiger, yielded absolutely nothing. No wreckage floated to the surface, no emergency signals were detected. The Star Ariel and its 20 passengers and crew had simply vanished into thin air. The fact that two large, relatively modern airliners from the same company disappeared within a year of each other, along the same general route and under such inexplicably similar conditions, sent a tremor of unease throughout the aviation world. The odds of such a double tragedy, devoid of any discernible cause, fueled growing speculation about the treacherous nature of the region. In 1971, the disappearance of the SS Anita, a modern 20,000-ton freighter stretching over 600 feet in length, added another layer to the Bermuda Triangle's grim tapestry. The powerful and well-equipped vessel, crewed by 32 experienced seafarers, had departed from Beaumont, Texas, its massive holds filled with a substantial cargo of coal destined for Europe. The journey was expected to be routine for a ship of its size and capabilities. Yet somewhere within the often calm but occasionally tempestuous waters of the Bermuda Triangle, the SS Anita vanished without a single flicker of communication. No distress call pierced the airwaves, no emergency beacons were ever activated. For weeks, maritime authorities and the Coast Guard conducted an extensive search across the ship's projected route, but to this day, not even the smallest identifiable scrap of wreckage from the colossal freighter has ever been definitively located. The sheer scale of the Anita and the complete absence of any trace left investigators and maritime experts utterly perplexed. reinforcing the triangle's reputation for swallowing even the most substantial vessels whole. Decades earlier, in 1921, the Conemaugh, an American freighter carrying 26 men, embarked on a voyage from Norfolk, Virginia, with the Caribbean as its final destination. The ship, a workhorse of the seas, sailed uneventfully until it passed into the generally accepted boundaries of the Bermuda Triangle. And then, it was simply gone. Unlike some other maritime tragedies, where at least some floating debris or life rafts would eventually surface, the Conemaugh disappeared with an unnerving totality. Despite the passage of time and the constant ebb and flow of the Atlantic's currents, no tangible evidence of the ship or its crew ever emerged. Families on shore waited with fading hope for any word, any sign. But the vast, indifferent ocean held its silence, adding another poignant chapter to the Triangle's legacy of unanswered questions. The year 1932 brought a more localized, yet equally unsettling mystery involving a small fishing boat named the John and Mary. Setting out on a calm morning from a port within the Bahamas, the vessel and its crew intended to fish the familiar, tranquil waters. Days later, the John and Mary was discovered adrift. Its nets were cast out, as if the crew had been in the midst of their work. Food was found half-prepared in the galley, and the boat's engine was still idling. Everything on board suggested a sudden, interrupted activity. But the entire crew had vanished. There were no signs of struggle, no obvious clues to indicate what might have happened. The John and Mary, adrift in calm waters with its engine running and dinner waiting, became a haunting tableau of abrupt and inexplicable absence. The strange encounters within the Bermuda Triangle weren't limited to outright disappearances. In 1881, the American merchant ship Ellen Austin experienced a deeply unsettling phenomenon. While sailing through the region, its crew spotted a derelict vessel drifting aimlessly on the open sea. Intrigued and hoping to salvage the abandoned ship, the captain of the Ellen Austin ordered a prize crew of some of his most experienced sailors to board the derelict and attempt to sail it back to port alongside their own vessel. For 2 days, the two ships sailed in tandem across the Atlantic. Then, a sudden and unexpected storm descended, separating them amidst the churning waves and heavy rain. When the weather finally cleared and the Ellen Austin regrouped, the derelict vessel had vanished. Days later, in a bizarre twist, the Ellen Austin encountered the same derelict ship again, drifting in the same area. The captain ordered another boarding party, but this time, the original replacement crew was nowhere to be found. They too had vanished, their fate adding another layer of the uncanny to the tale of the Ellen Austin and its ghostly encounter. The skies over the Triangle continued to claim their share of mysteries. In 1962, a U.S. Air Force Boeing KB-50 Super Fortress refueling plane, a large and robust aircraft carrying a crew of 8 men, disappeared during what was described as a routine mission over the Atlantic. Weather conditions in the area were reported as stable, and radio communications with the aircraft were normal and without indication of any issues. Then, abruptly, the KB-50 was gone. Despite a tireless and extensive search conducted by the Air Force, no wreckage, no debris field, nothing that could explain the sudden disappearance of such a large aircraft ever surfaced. The lack of any tangible evidence only deepened the enigma surrounding the fate of the KB-50 and its crew. The year 1969 saw yet another small aircraft vanish into the Triangle's void. Dr. James Phi Hamilton, a scientist, boarded a twin-engine Piper PA-23 Apache aircraft, along with several passengers at Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport. Their destination was the sunny Bahamas, a short and often uneventful hop across the water. Shortly after takeoff, Dr. Hamilton himself made a routine radio call, reporting clear skies and perfectly smooth flying conditions. Those were the last words ever heard from the Piper Apache. Minutes later, the aircraft vanished from radar screens, and the radio waves fell silent. Despite an immediate and thorough search of the area, no trace of the plane or its occupants was ever discovered, leaving behind another stark reminder of the triangle's unpredictable nature. In 1976, the cargo ship SS Sylvia, not to be confused with the SS Sylvia El Osa, departed from Puerto Rico bound for Fort Lauderdale, Florida, a relatively short coastal voyage. When the vessel failed to arrive at its expected destination, concerned authorities initiated a search. Days later, debris and wreckage believed to be from the SS Sylvia began to appear across a wide stretch of the ocean. Maritime experts who examined the recovered fragments noted a disturbing pattern. The wreckage suggested that the ship had broken apart mid-sea, and yet there was no evidence of fire, explosion, or collision with another vessel. The manner of the ship's disintegration remained a perplexing question, and tragically, no survivors were ever found amongst the scattered remains, leaving the final moments of the SS Sylvia shrouded in mystery. Even in the 21st century, with the advent of advanced navigation systems like GPS, sophisticated radio communication, and readily available emergency beacon technology, the Bermuda Triangle continues to assert its unsettling influence. In 2003, a small but modern Piper PA-46 Malibu aircraft, equipped with all the latest navigational aids, disappeared near the Bahamas with 3 people on board. Despite the presence of GPS tracking, radio contact, and emergency locator beacons designed to automatically signal in case of a crash, the aircraft was never located. An intensive search involving satellites, radar analysis, and numerous search planes yielded absolutely no results. The seemingly impossible disappearance of a modern aircraft in an age of ubiquitous tracking technology served as a stark reminder that even in the 21st century, the Bermuda Triangle can still erase lives and machines without leaving a single trace. So what do you think is out there in that empty space on the map? What secrets does the ocean hold in its darkest depths? Let me know your theory in the comments below.